in the last 20 years of creating content, my followers have been along the ride with me because I show that I'm not perfect. I show that I
Mhm.
make mistakes openly and publicly. And though, of course, there are people being like, why are you showing this?
Right.
I think for the most part, I feel a responsibility with my platform to be able to share these hard times and these hard moments, to share that you're not alone and that you can go through hard times and get through them and have beautiful outcomes.
The following podcast is a Healthy Dog production. Welcome to the Healthy Dog Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Nigma Talib. I'm a leading naturopathic doctor now for over 20 years, and I've consulted thousands of patients with chronic illnesses. I've had clinics all over the world, and I have a #1 bestseller, Younger Skin Starts in the Gut. Listen, I know there's a lot of health information out there in the health and wellness world, and it can be a bit overwhelming. So I'm here to set the record straight and give you my expertise along with my expert guests here in studio in sunny Los Angeles.
I only take drugs with other people who take them on a regular basis because I don't have time for that.
A lot of chronic diseases stem from mitochondrial dysfunction.
Yes. And you know what I love talking about, right? Poop.
Yes. You can ask me about my poop?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about poop.
Okay, please.
This podcast is your go-to for achieving optimal wellness from the best of beauty and longevity and everything in between, because after all, wellness comes from the inside out. Hi, I'm Dr. Nigma Talib. Welcome back to the Healthy Dog Podcast. Today's guest is a true innovator in fashion, beauty, and entrepreneurship. She helped shape the modern curator economy through her authentic storytelling and distinctive style. Recognized by Forbes as one of fashion's top creators, she's also the visionary behind PHLUR, the brand behind my favorite fragrance, and yes, I wear it every day. The viral scent Missing Person is now carried in hundreds of Sephora stores worldwide. She's also the co-founder of Boomo, an innovative childcare and education platform. Her influence goes beyond beauty. She's redefining creativity, community, and what it means to build with purpose. Please join me today in welcoming Chriselle Lim. Thank you so much for being here.
Wow, thank you for having me. I'm such a big fan of everything that you do, and especially your podcast, so it's an honor.
Oh, I'm so glad you love it.
And your products. I have to say, your products got me through my toughest last 6 weeks of travel. And yeah, I thank God that you gave me the products.
Oh my God, I'm so happy to hear that. And I hear that a lot from everybody coming back from
Mhm.
Paris Fashion Week. And they're like, I didn't get sick. And I'm like, good. I'm glad you
Yeah.
did your vitamin C cocktail. Um, we met at the Business of Beauty Global Summit and we sat across from each other. And I remember us totally vibing on some of our similar experiences, divorce, beauty, and
Yeah.
wellness.
Yeah.
It was so fun speaking to you. And like, I just felt like I knew you because our stories were so similar in our journey. Tell me about your journey in terms of, that whole process of, how did you get to this brand? Did you have your divorce first or what came first?
Yeah. Well, I do remember that moment when we connected and I was like, wow, like we should definitely do something together just because, you know, I feel like as I get older and as I become quote unquote wiser, I'm realizing that us women just have more things in common than not, especially as we go through life. But yes, I started off, just kind of backstory. I started off in college as a content creator way before content creator or influencer was even a word. This is when it was just as a hobby. No one was really making any money or a career out of it, really. And I just loved creating content. That was like my joy, creative freedom, and outlet for me to just share like what I'm wearing, the things that I'm into. And that was really the start of the digital era, the digital boom. Instagram didn't exist then. It just started like maybe 3 years after I think I got onto YouTube. And so I was creating content. I've been creating content for the last 20 years. And so that's always been kind of how I started my career and my journey. And naturally, even though I was talking about a lot about fashion, a lot of my community and followers start to integrate kind of my world and their world. So a lot about my engagement, my marriage back then, to having kids, then having my first home, second home, and then a divorce, right? And then the story that comes after. And I think in the last 20 years of creating content, my followers have been along the ride with me because I show that I'm not perfect. I show that I make mistakes openly and publicly. And though, of course, there are people being like, why are you showing this?
Right.
I think for the most part, I feel a responsibility with my platform to be able to share these hard times and these hard moments, to share that you're not alone and that you can go through hard times and get through them and have beautiful outcomes. You know, PHLUR was really born during the hardest period of my life when I was going through my divorce. And I often say PHLUR saved me, as much as people think that I breathed life into PHLUR.
Yeah.
I can't even speak right
Literally.
now, literally. Um, I really feel that PHLUR saved me during that period. And going into kind of how it all started, PHLUR was an existing brand before. I knew of PHLUR. They were a niche brand. A lot of people that were really focused on sustainability and clean fragrance, clean beauty, were obsessed with PHLUR. And I respect that because they were one of the very first brands to be able to be super transparent about all the ingredients, everything that was going into the fragrance back then when you had no idea what was going into your product. So you had no idea what you were spraying onto in your fragrance, into your skin. And so PHLUR was definitely one of the first brands to be super transparent. And so I knew that about them. And so I was like, I respect this brand. And I had the opportunity to come on board and take over the business with my business partner and give it a new life. And our very first scent, Missing Person, which I heard is your everyday scent.
It's my everyday scent, and I don't understand the name. I want to understand where you came up with that name, but it's the only fragrance I'll wear. I haven't tried the other ones yet because I'm just so obsessed with this one, and it lasts for a very long time. So I've had it since the Global Summit, so I'm still working on it.
And I think it's perfect for what you do because you're seeing patients, you're in closed settings all the time.
Yes.
And it's a skin scent, so it becomes you. You still smell like yourself, but just a
Yes.
yummier, cleaner version of yourself.
Yes.
And so I love when people tell me those stories because sometimes you don't necessarily want to be projecting because, you know, you're around people all the time. And so anyways, going back to the Missing Person story, that was the very first scent that we launched. And it was developed during the period I was going through my divorce and I was not feeling inspired whatsoever. And I was like, God, like, how can I create an inspiring, exciting scent when I'm not in an inspiring place in my life? What do I have to give? And so I was like, this is what I have to give. This moment of rawness, of loneliness, of sadness, missing a person, missing feeling loved, missing a moment in my life. And not saying that I was missing that person specifically, but I was missing feeling loved at the end of the day. And so the noses that we are working with to develop our scents and the PHLUR family, I was like, can we bottle up a scent that can bring me a lot of warmth and coziness, and it almost smells like a nice warm hug that will bring me comfort on like a lonely, sad day. And that's how Missing Person was born.
I love that.
Yeah. And so it came from a really dark, painful period. But I always tell people the best business ideas, because a lot of people come up to me, they're like, okay, I have this business idea. What do you think about this and this? And I'm like, it could be good, but really the best business ideas come from authenticity and a problem that you're facing, because that's the truth. That's your authentic self. And when I look at Missing Person, I look at myself at the deepest, darkest period of my life. And I think when people hear that story about Missing Person, they smell it, they get this visceral kind of emotional reaction of like, ooh, this is familiar. I don't know what it is, but I know the scent from somewhere, and it's making me feel really good and cozy and warm. And that scent went really viral when we launched. By the way, this was a scent that no one could smell at the time. We were not at Sephora's. You couldn't go to a counter to buy it and test it. It was all D2C, direct to consumer, online. So right when we launched, it took about a week for it to kind of pick up. But after a week, we not only sold out, but we had a wait list of 250,000 people
This is without anybody even smelling it.
without anyone smelling it.
Wow.
And there was TikTok at the time, so people were starting to spray it and emotionally react to it. So there was a lot of people crying and being like, "Oh my God, this is reminding me of my mom that I miss so much. She's no longer here with us," or "This is reminding me of my best friend. She moved to college." And it just became this moment. It became more than a scent. It became therapy for people. It allowed them to be authentic and vulnerable and remind themselves of once when they were loved by somebody or a moment in their life. And so that's how PHLUR really started, was by missing person. And still to this day, it is our most popular scent in our PHLUR family.
I know why, because it does give you that hug. And, I don't know if you know the research on this, but, perfumes and fragrances can affect our endocrine disruptors.
Yeah.
And so a lot of women that are wearing fragrances, I'm now in my postmenopausal years, so fragrances really affect me and really cause brain fog and all the other stuff we have to deal with dropping hormones, but you become more sensitive. So you get more of a histamine response. And fragrances disturb what we call this mast cell activation. And so it's really dangerous, perfumes for women in general. And it's like, what can I wear then? I want a scent. I want to wear something that's me, but not going to disrupt, my body.
Yeah.
And even worse, if you have pets, there's a lot of research to substantiate that if you wear heavy fragrance around animals, particularly dogs, it can raise their cortisol, which can cause them to be more anxious. So he's been great with the missing person. I have a whole cupboard filled with perfumes that's just for decoration now, and all I use is your fragrance missing person.
Thank you. That really means a lot. And I have heard of that a lot from my personal friends and also just women out there that are going through this kind of transitional period in their life. I just turned 40 and I know that I'm entering a new chapter, and not that I'm in menopause yet, but I know it's just around the corner. So I have a million questions for you because I'm doing so much research, and a lot of it is a little scary, to be honest. But these are things that I am thinking about all the time now of, okay, what is in these products that I'm using? Is it gonna hurt or help my body, my hormone levels? And so that really is the best compliment that I could receive. So thank you. And also, you're
Dante.
beautiful. Dante's sleeping.
He's sleeping. He's enjoying smelling the missing person.
Oh,
Right,
thank you, Dante.
he'll expect a check later.
We'll check on you later.
It's really interesting because when you being 40 and thinking about the journey to menopause, and that's my next book that I'm going to be releasing next year. It's really interesting because women are starting to think about that journey.
Yeah.
And instead of getting scared about it, what I would be excited for you being in your 40s is that you can do a lot to optimize your journey. Whereas, back the Gen X, our group, our cohort, we weren't given any information. And the information out there is there's so much more information for you. So you can ease your way into the menopause journey and postmenopause.
Well, I'm going to be knocking at your door when your clinic's open because I'm going to be your best customer because I'm all in. I want to be as prepared as I can be. I want all the knowledge and just really take care of my body. And you are right, I think. a lot of my friends are older than me, and they're like, we didn't know this until
No.
now, right? But now I always say have older friends for a reason.
I remember you told me this. A lot of your friends are older. I think that's why we bonded.
Yeah, all my friends are older.
Yes. Yeah.
But at the same time, it is helpful because I learn from them as well, especially my girlfriends. And a lot of my girlfriends are in full on premenopause or menopause right now, and it's just been eye-opening for me. And I'm like, okay, bring it on. Like, I'm ready.
I love that because I think it's so empowering. And I promise you, the journey is much easier if you do the right things and it gets better.
Yeah.
Life gets better because you're not so much worried about, you don't sweat the small stuff. I want to share something that could literally slow down how you age, inside and out. Let's talk about hyperbaric oxygen therapy, or HBOT. You've probably heard of it being used for athletes or wound healing, but what you may not know is the latest research is showing powerful benefits for cellular regeneration, brain health, and even reversing some biological markers of aging. Hyperbaric chamber works where you breathe in oxygen at higher than normal pressure. This process stimulates your tissues with oxygen and beyond what your body can normally get in. That extra oxygen jumpstarts your cells, helps natural repair processes, reduces inflammation, and boosts collagen production. It even stimulates the growth of new blood vessels. Studies have shown improvements in telomere length, which are kind of like protective caps on your DNA that shorten as you age. Longer telomeres, that's linked to healthier aging. If you're feeling the effects of aging, maybe it's slower recovery, brain fog, or skin that's lost its luster and glow, hyperbaric oxygen might be a powerful tool to help you feel sharper, stronger, and more vibrant. Go to oxyhealth.com, that's OXYHEALTH.com, and type in discount code HEALTHYDOC10 for your first order.
Yeah.
And I saw something on your Instagram where you're like, what would I tell my younger self? Let's talk about that because I think it was really important to hear that, for a lot of women look up to you. You have a massive following, and even my team, my assistants were like, we know who she is. She's so amazing. They don't know some of the big celebrities, but they knew you. And they're like, oh my God, she's amazing.
Thank you.
They're like, you need to say her name right, Doc. And I'm like, okay, I promise. But yeah, you've got, an impressive following, and you are, for lack of a better word, the influencer, that everybody, you're sought after, so whatever you say makes such a big impact. On that note, tell us, what would you say to your younger Chriselle self?
Well, I did just post something about this,
Yes.
and I don't want to say the word viral, but it kind of did.
Yeah.
A lot of people were talking about it. And what I realized is the things that tend to get picked up or do very well is when I'm speaking out loud of the things that are in my head that no one really talks about out loud. And we all are relatively the same. We all relatively kind of think about the same things, but no one really talks about them. So one of the topics was my one regret in life, and the advice that I would give my younger self. And this was specific to making that big jump and that big move to the city that you've always wanted to live in. Because for me specifically, I don't know if that's a video that you're specifically talking about, but I just posted that one. And I said, my one regret is actually not making the move. Because I was in Paris for Fashion Week, and I'm very grateful that with my job, I am able and have the opportunity to travel to a lot of these fabulous places. But at the age of 40 now, and granted, I'm still young, and I still have a whole lifetime ahead of me. But I think as you get older, to make these big jumps, whether it's to make the big move or to start a business or to start a podcast, whatever it is, it only gets harder. People think that, once I have money, once I have more time. No, it doesn't make things any easier. It actually makes things more difficult because you have more responsibility as you get older. And so I said, the one thing that I highly regret in life is I didn't move to Paris because at this point I have two girls. I have this business that is in Los Angeles, and the team needs me. And so, can I kind of still do it? Yeah, but it's a lot harder now to make that move than it was maybe 10 or 20 years ago. So my advice that I gave to my audience, if you're in your 20s or your 30s, if you're thinking about something, just do it because it's only going to get harder. And it might not work out, but at least you did it and you tried and you know. So,
I
yeah.
think that's really good advice. On that note, have you done anything that you really regret?
Oh, okay. Yes. So specifically on beauty, I love beauty. I love, and to each their own, right? There are women that want to go all out, and there's also women that want to go the natural route. And there's no right or wrong, and it's whatever makes you feel the best. And that's how I view it. But when it comes down to beauty, one of my biggest regrets was getting fillers. And I started that maybe, I think about 10 years ago. Not that I needed it whatsoever, but I think with media, it was just constantly fed at me of things that could work, and I was curious. So you get a little and it looks kind of good, right? And then obviously your eye gets distorted and it adapts, and the fillers might have moved along the way, right? So you get filled up again. A year later, oh, like I need an upkeep. So you're keeping up, right? And then even though it wasn't a massive amount at the time, my eye just couldn't even notice it, the changes of my face. And then 10 years into it, I was like, why am I waking up so puffy? I must be so tired. I must be so exhausted from life that I'm always waking up puffy. And I was in denial until I went to one of my derms, and she was like, yeah, we need to dissolve everything. And I was like, okay, let's do it. I just needed one person to look at my face and tell me that's what I needed, an honest opinion. And I did that, and it was the best decision I've ever made, because I forgot who I was along the way. I think physically, of course, but then also you kind of lose yourself along the way, and you feel like you have to keep up. So I've been filler free for the last, I would say, almost 2 years now, and I love my face. I love how it looks. I feel free. I don't have to upkeep, and I'm just thinking of longevity now, of what's the best way. And I'm not against it. I'm not saying I will never get Botox ever again. I love anything that makes you feel good at the moment, but also what is a long-term impact? Because I think going into fillers, I didn't know that information. I know, to be fair, a lot of people didn't know that information at the time. And so, yeah, I've just been really obsessed with more longevity now.
So it leads me to ask you the next question. Why would someone like you, who has such beautiful skin, flawless, I'm looking at you now, why would someone like you get filler to begin with?
Yeah. I think it started off with a friend who got it. And
It always starts off with a friend.
It's always with
Yeah.
someone that you trust and they're really excited about something. And you're like, oh, yeah, it kind of does look good. And then, I mean, she was a real convincer. She's like, oh my God, I changed my face. And I was like, okay, I'll go give it a try. And you give it a try and you don't see a huge difference, but you see a noticeable kind of improvement, if you will. For me, I think it was, I always naturally kind of had a little bit of more darkness in my under eyes. And so I think she did like a little bit of a lift here. I was like, oh yeah, I think I see a little something. And then you feel good about it. It's like a drug, right? It's
Yeah.
like, you're like, okay, that was fun. And then you kind of forget about it. And then you come back to it. And then you're like,
Until
oh, I
it
need to
builds
upkeep.
up,
And then
yeah.
it builds up. And then you're like,
Wait. It's moving. It's now down here, the
Yeah.
filler. It was supposed to be here, but it's down here. You see those people with the Maller fat pads, right? Like they're
Yeah.
all like puffy and,
But you know what was interesting for me, and I could send you photos if you want to have any references. I'm super open about this, and
Yes,
I've
I
always
do.
been very open with my audience of kind of everything that
I
I've done
love
with my
that.
face. Just because my trust is and my relationship with them is really important to me. And so when I got everything dissolved, I forgot that I had this one thing under my eye, specifically my left eye. It was a pretty bulging fat pad. It was sticking out pretty high up. And I was like, oh, I forgot about this guy because I kept getting this area filled up. So it will compensate so you couldn't see that fat pad.
Yeah.
And then immediately I went to my derm, Cindy, and I was like, Cindy, I need to fill this back up. This is like way too obvious. She's like, I'm not going to fill that back up. First of all, you filled up way too much for it to hide that. If anything, you need to flatten that out or get rid of it because no amount of filler is healthy to cover that up. And so I think it was 2 weeks after I got a consultation. I was lucky enough to get referred to someone through her, and he was able to take me in, Dr. Charles Lee, and it was pretty, I mean, it was invasive as I had to be put to sleep, but it wasn't, there was no outer stitching on the outside because everything was done internally. So he just went in and smoothed it out. And I woke up and I was kind of swollen for about 2, 3 days. And that was it. And I
You're
was
lucky
like,
because it's really hard to get rid of filler.
yeah. So I was like, wow, this is the long-term strategy. Instead of me having to fill this up, granted that it's also quite pricey to upkeep that lifestyle, right? Whereas I went in and I was able to get it kind of smoothed it out. Of course, it sounds scarier in the forefront because it's quote unquote surgery. But in the long run, I'm like, I'm so much happier now and I don't need to upkeep. And yeah, I think it started off as an innocent curiosity, as most people kind of go in thinking that it could help things out. But then I think it quickly turned into something that I wasn't happy about with my face. And I'm so happy that I finally returned to myself. So
I love yourself. I
Yeah.
mean, your skin is flawless. And I know
Thank
when I met
you.
you, I was like, I need to send you my products. I want you to try them.
I love your products, by the way. I mean, your vitamins, and I did your mask, which was incredible. So yeah, you're onto something.
Good. Well, that means a lot because I know you've tried everything, literally, and your skin is flawless. What do you do on the inside? What are your eating habits like? Walk me through your eating day and your like your wellness routine with your supplements and your eating. I know you're Korean, so I'm sure
Full
that
Korean.
influences the way.
Yeah.
I feel like I've given you a cold drink and I
Oh my
feel
gosh,
bad.
can we cheers
Yes,
to this?
yeah,
Because
we
I feel like it's sitting in front of me and I just want to like down it.
cheers.
Cheers. I love this stuff, by the
This
way.
is my vitamin C cocktail. I'm so happy you love it.
I took a handful of these to my travels. I went from Australia, Hong Kong, Germany, New York, Dubai, Milan, Paris, and back to New York all in one trip.
What?
And I ran out of these halfway through because I just took a handful. I should have just taken the whole bag. But towards the end, in the beginning, I was fine. Like I didn't get sick. But towards the end, I got sick. And I'm like, oh, it's because I didn't have these guys on me.
Happens to me all the time. When I
Yeah.
don't take it, I keep my guard down because yeah, vitamin C really is like helps your white blood cell counts and help you, fight against infection.
And it's delicious.
Well, I'll
So
just need to stock you up because you're like such a big travel. I don't know anyone that travels more than you.
I don't know either. I mean, maybe some rock stars. I don't know. But I think this last trip, I was like, wow, this is the most I've ever traveled. And yeah, kind of going back to what I feed my body, what's on the inside. It's something that I've become a lot more aware and intentional about because if I'm being completely transparent, the first 30 years of my life, I was just eating anything, whatever I wanted, and it wasn't that important to me. But now, from I think it was like my mid 30s to now, I'm super intentional of everything that I put in my body. I did a food sensitivity test where I went into a doctor and they had to get like vials of blood.
What showed up for you on that? I'm curious.
Well, I already knew one thing, which
Okay.
was dairy. Dairy was a big thing, but it was a very much. It was like, nope, you're borderline allergic to dairy.
Yeah.
So that one I already knew. One was that was quite surprising was yeast for me, which is in any breads. So it's been about 2 years since I haven't had bread. I still have rice.
I mean,
I have to have rice.
yes.
I probably eat more rice than I should now because I'm like compensating for the bread that I can't have. But I used to highly depend on bread for like, avocado toast and lunch, like sandwiches, dinner, a side of toast. I didn't realize how much
You were actually consuming until
Yeah.
you did the food intolerance
Yeah.
test. And then it sort of gave you like I find it to be such a useful test.
Yeah.
Because some of the stuff but then you go into denial.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I'm fine with that. I'm sure I can just keep eating dairy. And then you wake up swollen and
Yeah.
have some, acne,
Yeah.
pimples and whatever,
yeah.
rosacea. So what have you noticed avoiding the foods?
It's changed my body. It changed my skin. It changed my energy. I think it's been about 2.5 years now since I've cut out completely dairy and yeast. I think first
Is that all that showed up for you?
there was like little things here
Yeah.
and there, but those were
The main
the
ones.
main ones that were very, very high. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a try. Like, seriously, try to cut this out for a year and see how I feel. And then from there, I will make a decision if I want to continue this life. Of course, after a year, I was like, I'm never going to go back because I have so much energy now. I think that was the biggest difference for me. Used to always wake up so sluggish. I used to always wake up so puffy. I mean, the fillers didn't help,
The
but
fillers and the dairy.
yes, the
Not
fillers
a
and
good
the dairy-
combination.
No, that was a
Bye.
very toxic combination. For
Yes,
me.
yes.
But I also never had a midday slump
Mm-hmm.
ever, because always midday I would get kind of tired and restless and couldn't focus. And in my 20s, right? I'm like, this is the time I should have
is
like
my prime,
all
yes.
this energy, right?
Yeah.
And so I can truly say now in my 40s that I've never felt more energetic, more youthful, more clear. My skin has never looked better. And I truly think it's because of just being aware of what my body can handle. And not that I was trying to lose weight whatsoever, but I did shed, I think, about 5 to 7 pounds, which I'm already a naturally kind of slim body. And so that there was a lot that was a lot for my body. And so it was interesting because as I was feeling healthier and I was leading a healthier lifestyle, people were like, "Oh, you're getting really thin," but I was like, "But I feel so good and so in control of my body, and I've never felt more energetic." And so I feel like I really have a good sense of what works for my body now, and it's really empowering when you know. And I think that's why I want to keep it at this level as much as I can. But I know that my body is going to change again with the hormones, with
will.
with the menopause
Yes,
coming
yes.
up. So I'm just trying to learn and soak it all in. I want to learn from you. I'm reading books. I just want to learn everything. So
I love
yeah.
that. And what supplements are you taking? What are your
Oh
go-tos?
God, I am the worst with supplements.
Are
but
you?
I've been so much better this year because
Mm-hmm.
again, I've just traveled so. I'm traveling so
It's
much,
hard to
and I
travel,
was like,
yes.
I really need to figure out what my body needs, and so I've tried so many different things. And vitamins are a funny thing because you're just like, I don't know. I know I should be taking this, but should I keep going? Will it make a difference if I stop? And so I did kind of waver from different vitamins here and there. But ever since, and I'm not just saying this to make you feel good, but ever since I've been using your stuff, it's so much easier because you make it so simple with one pill. I just can't with the vitamins that I take 3 to 5 pills a day. And I'm like,
Yes.
I could barely take one. Like, what do you
Yeah.
mean I take 3 of these in one
Yes.
day? So I've been taking the vitamin D, the B
The
Hollywood,
Be
Be
Famous.
Famous. I was gonna call it B Hollywood. Be
Similar.
Famous. There is another one.
Beauty in a Bottle.
No,
I'll give you that one today.
no, it's the D.
Cortisol balancer.
Maybe it's just the D and the B.
Those are the two most
Yeah.
important. And I feel in,
No,
Asia,
gut.
oh, probiotics, the
Yes,
healthy
probiotics.
flora.
Yeah. I was like, I know there's 3 I'm taking
Yes,
from you.
that one
And
is
I've been so
fantastic.
consistent with those
Yes,
for about a month now, and I feel amazing.
I'm so
So the plan is to upkeep it,
okay.
but we'll see a month later.
Okay, I'll be following up
Yes,
on
yes.
you. No, it's good. It's good to have, supplements that you can really notice a difference, and that's why I created them for my patients because I wanted to get a supplement that I knew was going to have a high efficacy for most people and deal with some of the issues that we're all deficient in. And
Yeah.
for us women of color, we tend to have a higher risk of having low vitamin D.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's super important because vitamin D is actually a prohormone. It's not so much a vitamin.
And you were telling me something interesting about, I don't know if it was your vitamin D or B. You said that the B usually doesn't, you have to mix it with something for it to be effective.
Yes.
And I didn't really fully understand that, but can you explain that
The
again?
methylation, I know
Yes.
it's such a confusing term. What happens is a majority of the population, I'm seeing 30 to 50% of the population have something called methylation defects. It's just a genetic variation that we're born with. And those individuals cannot basically convert into the usable form of B12 folate. And we know that these are important for DNA repair. They're important for, women who are trying to conceive with fertility. They're important for so many things. And when we have that methylation defect, we're not able to absorb that. So you see a lot of women with hormonal imbalances and even cognitive impairment, all of those things from just not being able to absorb your B12 folate. So I put it in the Be Famous where it's got the full spectrum of B complex plus the methylation. For individuals, I have the defect. I have actually a double positive MTHFR gene. They call it the mother F gene.
Oh, wow.
As a joke, like it's not a fun gene to have. And if you have that, you're more susceptible to like anxiety, depression, hormonal,
Really?
imbalances. And really, it's changed my life. That's why I created it.
And so you found that out through a test, like a blood
A
test?
DNA test.
A
We'll
DNA
do that.
test.
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Okay. I'm like, I need to come in and get all this work done because I'm so curious because you really don't know what's going on in there until you take these tests. Because I think for me, it was like, okay, I know I have to take a vitamin C and a D and a B, but what does my body actually really need? And so I'm just so fascinated by your world and how you guys look at things. But yeah, I'll be in there for a test soon.
True wellness lives in the smallest details: the air you breathe, the water you wash with, and the surfaces you touch. That's why Koala Eco, with their beautiful botanical ranges for home, laundry, body, and even pets, is the only brand I trust. Elegant living without compromise. Visit koalaeco.com, that's KOALAECO.com, and use my code HealthyDoc15 for 15% off your first order. And so tell me about food, because I have a lot of Korean friends and I love Korean food. I mean, I love it that you eat everything warm,
Yeah.
you know?
Everything's warm.
And that's very much my ethos is eating warm. So have you adopted the North American culture? I know you did when you were younger,
Yeah.
but what do you eat now?
Well, so I am Korean American. I'm 100% Korean. My parents were born in Korea. I was born here in Texas. So I'm best of both worlds, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
I personally don't cook, which is quite challenging itself of trying to stay and eat healthy when I don't cook. But my fiance, he is vegetarian and he does cook.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, he's very health conscious,
Okay.
which naturally helps me be health conscious because he does all the
I
cooking.
love that.
But I do cook for my kids, obviously. And so I'm not fully vegetarian, but I'm eating kind of things from both sides. But with my parents, they live 5 minutes from me. I'm very, very lucky.
Oh, you lucky duck.
Yeah, that was kind of strategically
Intentional.
planned.
It's a very smart Korean
Yeah,
girl.
yes. Close enough, but not your next door neighbor.
Yes, yes.
And so we go over to my mom's house, I would say at least 2 times a week. And it's all lots of soups. And I think they really believe in eating beauty. I grew up with a grandma who is obsessed, has always been obsessed with beauty. And we were raised to drink like collagen heavy soups, like beef broth that has like thick collagen in it. But these are things that I ate all the time growing up, so I didn't really think about it.
Right.
But now it's kind of like a trend. So
That's like
Yeah.
turmeric for me.
oh yeah.
Because I'm Indian, so we've been eating turmeric for, since I was a kid.
You're like, oh, that trend, turmeric? I grew up with that. Yeah. That's how I feel too with a lot of these bone broth, collagen trends. But it's really cool to see the world kind of, especially on this side of the world, like adapting and adapting to our cultures
I
and
know, I love
incorporating
that.
it into your next door cafes. This morning I went to a cafe and they had a beef broth collagen tea. So I was like, okay, I'll take that. But it was like a Korean beef broth soup, but they made it into a tea. But yeah, there is ways to obviously ingest beauty and collagen, and I'm sure that's why you created an amazing line as well for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, collagen is there's a lot of misinformation out there about collagen, but I think it's if you get the right one and the absorbable one, and even drinking it and eating it, I think it's really beneficial.
Yeah.
So okay, you do the soup.
Yeah.
What else? So what will you do for breakfast, for example?
Okay, so for breakfast, the first thing I do, this is a hack that I do because I hate drinking water. I know
Okay.
that sounds so horrible, but I really just am a horrible water drinker. But I know that I have to at least drink half of my body weight. So what I do, my little hack, is that with my large Stanley cup the night before, I have like really boiling hot water in there and lemon, and I have it on my bedside. So when I wake up, it's warm temperature. And that's the very first thing I do in the morning. I kid you not, I literally drink that entire Stanley bottle before I get out of bed. And I don't know if that's healthy or not. Like, tell me, is drinking too much water in one spot, is that healthy?
It just depends on the individual. It can be a lot of water
Yeah.
for some people because where there's water, it can actually deplete your minerals. So you have to make
Oh,
sure that
okay. I'm
you're
getting the
taking your
minerals in.
magnesium and, all the different sodium. Like we need that in our
Okay.
electrolytes, especially, and I'm looking at someone like you, I bet you have low blood pressure.
I don't know.
You haven't measured your blood pressure?
I mean, whenever I go to the doctors, they're like, yeah, your blood pressure is fine.
Okay.
But
Because
but
you're also tall. So I bet you, you'll be able to tell if you stand up quickly, do you get a little bit
oh
dizzy?
yeah, all the time. So
Okay.
that's low blood pressure.
That's low blood
Okay.
pressure. I can just sense you have low blood pressure. So, putting a bit of salt in there, like the Baja salt,
That helps.
that will really help because, but I still think it's an excellent habit. I'm actually going to steal that off you.
Yeah.
Because that's a really good idea.
Because I just get so busy throughout the day. I refuse to carry that massive bottle around with me. I
No.
just refuse to.
I see my friends doing that and I'm like, are you going to drink that?
Yeah. I'd rather just get it over with. So that's the very first thing I do.
Okay.
And then I do my morning routine. I drop off the kids at school. I make their lunches, and then I do my workout. And then I come back and I'll have some sort of protein and a fruit, a yogurt. I love my yogurt bowl, so I'll make like a vegan yogurt bowl at home. So I don't really drink like hot stuff in the morning. Besides the hot water.
Okay.
And then lunch, I'll do like a really delicious salad with, again, protein. I think protein is something that I'm also focused on just because as I'm learning about aging and bone deficiency and weight train. Like I'm doing weight training now, Pilates and weight training.
Awesome.
I'm just really focused on making sure I get the right amount of protein in my body as well. And then, yeah, so I eat 3 meals a day, and but they're all like, actually, I eat 5 meals a day, but they're all kind of smaller meals throughout the day. I'm a big snacker. Yeah. So I
And
have
it
like,
works for you. I think we have to figure out what works for us. I think that's super important. And I like the way you biohack what you're like, I'm not going to drink water if I don't get it over with in the morning. And you're also following your tradition
Yeah.
of, drinking warm water.
yes, exactly. So I was like, I don't even know if this helps. So I'm glad that you answered that question for me. So thank you.
Yeah, it's like driving a Ferrari off the lot that hasn't been warmed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm just going to drink freezing cold water first thing in the
Oh God,
morning.
that's like shocking your body.
Yes, especially for women.
Okay, tell me about these ice baths. So like,
Oh dear.
okay, is it good? I mean, I'm not into them. I
Yes.
tried it and I'm like, maybe I'm mentally not strong enough. I just couldn't handle. But is that good for your body?
So I feel like women's bodies are very different than men's. And for a very long time, a lot of lab tests, all the reference ranges are based around men. And now these ice baths, all of this information is based around men. I don't feel we can look at this and say this is good for all women.
Yeah.
Women need warmth. We need nurturing. We have more hormones than men do. And, our bodies sustain stress a lot more than men do. And I feel like the ice baths add another stress to our body.
Yeah.
And I don't know
That's
if,
what I felt like. Yeah.
and I think you need to listen to your body. And I think I feel like you listen to your body. From what I've observed in you, it feels like you really listen.
Yeah.
And I think if you listen to your body, if it makes you feel good, there are some women that are more yang that are able to tolerate that.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I feel like women need nurturing, not deficiency. So I don't really believe in intermittent fasting for women, iced baths, all those things are very hard on women.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, that's how I felt too. So I never really fully got into it, but it's good to hear from you saying that.
A lot of women are going to look at you and go, okay, after your divorce, you created this amazing brand, or you followed up with an amazing brand that was already existing and made it into something even more powerful. Yeah. How did you do that? Like, how did you go from getting divorced, being really down in the dumps? And I know for me, I wrote a book after my divorce. I didn't write a book about the divorce, but I wrote a book about the gut-skin connection. This was back in 2015, before anybody was even talking about the gut, because it was my gut feeling to do a book about this, because everybody kept saying, why am I looking so much better after following your program? Because it was just the gut and skin connection. In the same way, I feel like you've done the same thing, and I feel like a connection with you in that way. And it almost brought me strength in that way. And I also feel like you said something about taking care of your body. And when you were taking care of your body and taking care of yourself, you met the right person too. Because a lot of women out there are single, divorced. What would you say to them in meeting the right person?
Yeah.
You said something about taking care of your body helped you get to meet the right person.
I think when you come from a place of lack and when you come from a place of defeat, you have to listen to your body, because your body's telling you that it needs rest and you need to be nourished. But I think so many of us, we go into doing the opposite to kind of protect ourselves or to make up for what is lacking of. And so I think when it came down to PHLUR, even though I was in work mode, hence, it is the brand that it is today, but I think I really listened to what my needs were. And I didn't know if that really made sense for the rest of the world. I didn't know if anyone would really understand that. But as I said earlier, I think when when you tap into your true authentic self, and when you tap into just telling your truth, the right people will listen. And it's an energy, right? you're emitting this energy. And I always say, treat yourself. And going back to your question of like meeting the right person, I always say, treat yourself the way that you would expect someone else to treat you. And there's something I am teaching my daughters now. So if you're looking for a certain somebody to do something for you, the question is, would you do it for yourself? Have you done that for yourself? And if the answer is no, then it's probably not going to happen, right? And so when I realized that, something clicked in me. I said, I have to be the best partner to myself. And once that unlocked, it emitted this energy of, I'm not looking for anybody. I'm not relying on anybody. And so I did meet somebody along the way, but it wasn't coming from a place of lack. It was coming from a place of, I am so content with myself and I am so happy. And if you can match me at that level, it's additive, right? You're adding into my life because I'm already so complete with myself. And I know that's a really strange thing to say as a modern woman. I was trying to explain that to my Korean mom, and she's like, what are you talking about? But it is true. It's like when you don't come from a place of lack, you're able to be your most authentic and best self, and you will attract who you are. You don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. And so I think I did that with PHLUR, and I also did that with my fiance. And I'm just so grateful that I was able to find myself along the way through this journey. And that is the most beautiful part about all of this. And I think it's not about erasing the past. I think maybe especially in the beginning of my divorce, I was like, oh, I wish I didn't do this, or I regret this. But now, almost 5 years into it, I'm like, I have to honor the past. The past got me here, and it served me at the right place at the right time. And I was with the right person at the right time. It no longer serves me now. And so I think when you are able to be appreciative and be present and not be in a place of regretting, I think you just attract the right things.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that so much. And I heard you talk about that before, and I wanted to make sure that we talk about it today on the pod.
Yeah.
I want to get girly with you right now and talk about perfume. I want to go through the range because I obviously haven't used all of them yet. So can we have them here?
Okay.
Can you like walk me and the audience through these different scents? Because I want to learn about
Yeah,
them.
let's do it. This is my favorite kind of topic.
Okay.
Okay. So, missing person, let's start off there just because
My favorite.
you are a missing person fanatic.
I am.
We just came out with a bigger version.
Thank God.
I bought this specifically for you because I knew that you are a big fan of missing person, just because we realized that people that love missing person, they keep just rebuying over and over again. So we came out with a jumbo size. So that's missing person. It's a very clean, and I'm going to spray some
Please
here.
do. And I feel so good about spraying it around the dog now. You know what I mean? I was feeling so guilty.
So, as you know, it's
It smells
a
like
very
home.
gentle scent. I always say this is not a projecting scent. It's a scent that smells like you. It becomes your skin. I always say, imagine kind of like that shirt, that leftover smell of skin mixed in with cologne a little bit. It's you, but amplified a little
This
bit.
feels like me. I'm smelling this and it feels so weird. I'm like, this smells like me.
Yeah. And it works
Yeah.
so well alone. I gift these to all my kids' teachers because they're in classroom settings. They
Right.
can't project, right? But they still
Sure.
want to smell good. So missing person is a teacher favorite as well. And I'm
love
sure
that.
a doctor favorite as well.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you guys are in like closed settings,
We are.
right?
Yeah. And you can't, because people are so sensitive. And I've never had anyone
Yeah.
complain about this.
That makes me so happy.
Yes.
But also people that like projecting scents that smell a little further, this works really well as a base because it amplifies any other fragrance.
So you
that
can
wanna
put this
layer
like on
of
top
it.
of
Yeah.
another fragrance.
Because it's essentially your skin, but
Yeah.
more amplified. So,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
so that's So, as you know, Missing Person was created from a place of just sadness, loneliness. And I think that story of wanting to be loved and feeling seen just resonated with so many people. And that is by far our bestseller. Our next one is Father Figure. Father Figure is also a great story that I love telling. I wanted to create a story that represented the modern woman, that really represented me as, at the time, I'm a co-parent now, but in the beginning I had to kind of play a little bit of single mom, being mother figure and father figure for the girls. So the strength of a father, the courage to like lead the family and the
Yeah.
girls, but also the nurturing side, the gentleness of a mother, the loving side. And so I said, okay, can we create a scent that is both? That's duality of both father and mother. That's not too feminine. That's not too masculine. It's kind of fluid. And so this is a fig scent, and it's my go-to scent. Though I don't have a favorite child, yeah,
I never smelt this one before. This is really nice.
I have to say this is one of my most worn PHLUR scents. And it's one of those scents that I wear when I want to feel confident, kind of going into a meeting. It's very uplifting, it's bright, but also as it
kinda
settles,
sexy.
it's sexy because it has
I
sandalwood
wear
on
this
the,
on a date, I think.
yeah. This
Yeah.
would be a good like
like
first
sensual.
sexy
Yeah.
date scent.
Good for sexy time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
Sexy time, father figure.
But you know what's really cool about this scent is that equally men and women
Can wear it.
can wear it. And I know so many people that share this scent. So me and my fiance, we kind of share everything, but this is one scent that we're always constantly just wearing together. So this is a beautiful, it starts off more bright with the fig, juicy, and then it settles into something a little bit more creamy and woody with the sandalwood at the base. So
See, that's my favorite. Oh, I can't wait to do this one. This one seems like it's going to be my next favorite one.
I'm so happy.
But this is like an out for dinner. Like my missing
Yeah.
person is going to be like my everyday. And then this is going to be if like I go out for dinner.
Missing person and father figure is a really good combo.
Oh, so I
Because
could
they
mix
both
them.
have kind of more of an earthy, woody base to it, a muskiness to it. So it actually dries down really beautifully together.
Okay, so if I have to go out for dinner right after work and I just want to mix them up,
Yeah,
I can just do that.
yeah. And that's the beauty of PHLUR is that it's a playful brand.
Mm-hmm.
So you're able to, and none of our scents are too heavy, right? So
No, they're not.
You're able to kind of mix and match and kind of make it their own, make it your own. Our latest scent that we just launched, which it has become my new favorite, is Cherry Stem. It's probably the sexiest scent that PHLUR has ever launched.
Okay.
It's a really good fall, going into fall winter scent, but it's juicy at top with the cherry. But also it has the ouds at the base.
Okay. I'm going to try this one. Can I spray that on me?
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. And cherry typically has kind of like this, you either love it or hate it because a lot of people think of cherry syrup medicine.
Okay, so this is the strongest fragrance you guys have, right? In terms of,
I would say one of them.
Okay.
Yeah. It's more projecting than
Yes.
our other scents.
Yes.
But yeah, this is as strong as it would get. So PHLUR in general is more on the lighter side, but it was more intentional so people can mix and layer. So yeah, that's cherry scent. This is kind of my go-to fall scent.
great. I'm going to get Michelle, the producer of the show, to try it after. I think she's going to love it.
Yay.
It's so good, Michelle. You have to try this.
And then we have our mist, our body mist, which
Yes.
is really fun. Our body mists have become very popular. When we launched body mist 2 years ago, I was like, guys, if we're going to launch body mist, we have to do it in the most elevated way because I am not going back to my teenage years of spraying. I don't know if you did this, but I doused myself in these body mists.
I did too.
And it just takes me back to like my high school years.
We were messing up our hormones and we
Yeah.
didn't even know.
Yeah, we didn't even know. So I was like, we have to do this in the cleanest, most elevated version of a body mist. And so we launched with 3 scents, which was Vanilla Skin, Mango Mood, and Amber Haze. Vanilla Skin went so viral, possibly more viral than Missing Person, that everyone was asking for it to be a fine fragrance because they said that it's the most sophisticated vanilla they've ever smelled. So we also have it in a eau de parfum, but it started off as a body mist.
And you just spray it after a shower, or how does that work?
So the fun thing about body mist is that it's not as delicate as eau de parfum. So you're able to put it on after a shower. Some people love to wear it before they head to the gym. Some people just have it in their bag to throw on, put in their hair. If they're about to, I don't know, go pick up the kid. It's just very casual and lived in. And that's what I love about body mist is that whenever I travel, I have one in the bag. So it's not, you're just able to kind of, oh, it already has a tape. It's more of a lived in life, and it's lighter too. So even
So it's
though
not as heavy.
yeah. So our body mist, they last much longer than most body mists, but it's still lighter than our eau de parfum because the fragrance load is a lot less, the fragrance oil. So it does wear off eventually, but that's what I love about our body mist is that you're able to mix and match, you're able to use this and use the eau de parfum and mix it up. So this is our Vanilla Skin.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
That tastes like I can taste it.
Yeah. So with Vanilla Skin, I said, I don't want this to be like a very overly cute cupcake bakery vanilla. I wanted it to be a very kind of grown,
it's subtle.
sexy,
Yeah.
lived-in vanilla that has a little bit of spice. So it has pink pepper on top. And so that is Vanilla Skin. It's our most popular, our top three are Missing Person, Father Figure, and Vanilla Skin.
Okay, I'm gonna have to mix this up a bit more because I'm hooked on the Missing Person, but now it looks like I'm gonna have some variety in my life.
You could
I can play with them. Now, all these scents, I'm very sensitive to perfume now. Ever since I've tried your fragrances, I can't go back to some of my favorites that I was telling you earlier. I'm not going to mention any names, but they're really expensive perfumes. They're like $500-$600 a bottle. I can't wear them anymore because I react. I start sneezing. I start not getting a headache.
Yeah.
The dog is not happy with it. So I can only wear your fragrances now. So I'm glad I have a bit of variety. These fragrances don't have phthalates in them.
No phthalates, yeah.
And so
that was very important to me because and not to cut you off, because as a mother and as a friend of many women that are now are coming out with just stories of whether they can't conceive or just miscarriage. I've experienced several myself. Early cancer. There's so many things out there, right? And it's kind of this modern day world that we have to adapt to. But if there's one thing that is very important to me and that I have a brand is at least I could control of what goes in the fragrances.
I want to minimize your exposure without sacrificing, wearing an elegant, sexy, feminine fragrance.
And of course, my kids are quite young, but I also didn't want to worry if I could wear it around my kids. My daughter loves our body mist, and I don't have to worry about her wanting to play with body mist sometimes. Of course, sometimes you can't wear that much body mist to school. That's a little too much. But yeah, I wanted to feel good what I put out in the world as a mother, as a girlfriend, as a woman. So yeah, that was important to me, as I'm sure it is for you too.
Thank you so much for creating this and, expanding the line because I think it's so important for women who are listening, who are, in their fertility years and in where I am at postmenopause. It really does make a difference, what you're putting on your skin, which is the largest organ on your body.
It is.
I want to end the podcast with you. I want to ask you a question. I ask my guests all the time. And I'm sure you're familiar with the 5 love languages. What is your love language?
So I thought I knew what my love language was for a long time, which I still think there's a part of me, but I think I've evolved and changed as well. So for the longest time, it's always been words of affirmation. But now I think I'm acts of services.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that comes with age, the acts of services.
Really?
By the way, I think you're an old soul. Definitely. You're young. But yeah, acts of services is one of the ones I'm hearing a lot as people get older.
I think at a young age, I was not a confident girl, so I think I needed to hear the affirmations to make me feel better about myself. But now that I am very comfortable with myself, I don't need people, the outside world, to tell me who I am or how great I am. Like, I know that about myself. I know what I'm capable of and what I'm not capable of. I'm very much aware of that. But now I really value time. And I think as I get older, I'm realizing the most expensive thing that anyone can give you is really their time.
Yes.
And with service, it takes time and effort. And so for me, that means so much to me if someone wants to do something, whether it's helping me to pick up the girls because I'm running late from a meeting, or helping me with dinner, just like those little things. It really touches my heart in ways where I get emotional. So, yeah.
And speaking of which, I'm going to give you an act of service. I didn't know you were going to say that. This can be many things. It can be
I'm not
like
finished.
a gift. Oh, you're not?
But I also think that for the first time ever, on top of acts of service, is gifts.
Ooh.
Which is so strange for me to say because that is like the last thing
That's okay.
I ever thought.
Really?
Yeah, because I think...
Who doesn't like gifts?
Well, that's what I said, right? Who doesn't like gifts? But because I think I always, like, for me, I'm like, I could get myself whatever I want. I always treat myself very well. And I never expect gifts from other people. But I'm realizing that when they're gifts that are thoughtful and they really put thought and meaning behind it, not only are they taking time to really think about these things, but also their hard-earned money. So I think it's beyond the physical. So gifts have been touching me lately. So those two.
I've built my entire clinical philosophy and even wrote a book called Younger Skin Starts in the Gut around one simple truth. If your gut isn't optimal, nothing else works. Genova Diagnostics GI Effects Test is the gold standard in functional stool testing, mapping your microbiome, digestion, inflammation, and nutrient absorption with clinical precision. It's a crappy job, but someone has to do it. And no one does it better than Genova. Visit genovaconnect.com and use my code HEALTHYDOC15 for 15% off your first stool test. Well, this combines both. And, I know you are such a wellness lover. And so I'm going to do the most important test you'll probably do besides your general lab work. This is going to measure your gut microbiome. It's going to measure how you digest your food, how you absorb your food, if there's any bad guys living in your gut. I call them the gremlins in the gut. And if there's any parasites, any of that kind of stuff. The thing is that you have to collect your poop for 3 days.
Okay.
Sorry, I know. I talk about poop. I'm now known as a poop doctor.
I mean, it's okay. I listened to one of your podcasts when you were talking about
poop
or like.
Okay, and you were
So I was fully aware.
You're fully aware.
Yeah.
You're.
I love it. I love getting in there. So
yeah.
let's get to the real stuff.
It's a crappy job, but you're gonna have to do it. I use this lab called Genova. I've used them since I graduated naturopathic medical school, and they have literally made me the doctor that I am today. And they also sponsored my podcast, which was like incredible. It asked so many people, and They didn't even flinch, and they're like, yes, Dr. Talib, you've been with us for so long and we'd love to support you. And I'm like, can I give all my guests poop tests? Because I want to give them a gift of health when they leave the podcast, for giving me their time and for educating the public, because I think that everything you've said today is really going to change someone's life. Like this was such an amazing podcast. Poopcast podcast.
I mean, that should be your next
I know,
a
right?
Podcast.
So
thank you. I geek out about this kind of stuff. Like, I'm so excited.
that's for you, my dear. And I'm also giving you all
Thank you.
my supplements again and skincare, so you can keep doing all that
Thank
fun
you.
stuff. Thank
Truly,
you.
it was an honor to be here. Thank you for your time and all of your amazing words of wisdom and products. And yeah, I feel like I'm only going to get healthier and better with you now. So
Well, you've got me. I've got you.
Yes.
I'll make sure. Thank you so much for being on the Healthy Dog podcast. Everyone,
you.
Chriselle Lim, have a listen.